Before I get into this, I do want to point out that what got handed out earlier, and some of you may have a copy of a comprehensive American agenda reform paper that Heritage put out. It's got a lot of things about how legal immigration should be changed, loopholes we need to close in the illegal immigration area, and we also have a card out on this. I don't need to convince you that we have a border crisis. You know, the official estimates from DHS is that we have about 12 million illegal aliens in the country. Other sources put it as high as 25 million. It's a very large number. In March, the Border Patrol apprehended the largest number in 12 years, almost 100,000 people coming across the border. And most Border Patrol agents will tell you that they believe they only apprehend about 1 in 3 of the people coming across. Now, what you have to understand is this is an enormous problem. Even if DHS was fully funded and was getting lots of cooperation from other federal agencies, it would still need the help of states and local jurisdictions. So I'm not going to talk about the federal government today. The chances of getting anything through Congress is pretty nil because the Democrats are going to oppose anything the President proposes. What I'm going to talk to you about is action items that you can do at the state and local level to help in this area. And what you have to understand is this. Vast majority of illegal aliens are here not because they're fleeing political persecution or anything like that. They're here for economic reasons. And one of the reasons that countries, for example, in the Caribbean area like Honduras, El Salvador, don't do anything to stem this, the reason Mexico doesn't do anything to stem this is because the biggest source of income in many of these countries are remittances coming from the United States. Okay? So what we have to do is choke off the economic reasons that these illegal aliens are here. And that also means attacking the economic reasons they're here, attacking their ability to transport themselves to the jobs they get illegally. So here's a whole series of things that you all ought to be able to do, or you should do at the state and local level. First of all, you all know the E-Verify system, which is a system employers can use to check whether the person they're hiring is legally in the U.S., is voluntary at the federal level. But there's nothing to bar states from making that mandatory. And Arizona did that some years ago, made it mandatory, and said that if an employer used that system, they were grandfathered in and protected. If it turned out later that somebody they had gotten verified it was actually an illegal alien, they can't be prosecuted because they checked with the federal government. The federal government said they can work. But if you don't use the E-Verify system, and it turns out you hired an illegal alien, you could lose your business license. And that was a way of forcing employers to quit hiring illegal aliens. The U.S. Chamber and the Obama administration sued, saying, oh, states can't make this mandatory, went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, yes, they can. So the U.S. Chamber lost, and so did the Obama administration. So your state legislature, try to convince them to make E-Verify mandatory. Georgia does not allow you to attend the Georgia University College system unless you are a U.S. citizen or legally in the United States. However, there are numerous states around the country who not only allow illegal aliens to attend their universities, but actually provide them with in-state tuition rates. Now, you might think it's only blue states that do that. No. Texas is one of the states that provides in-state tuition to illegal aliens. And you might, if you're living in Texas, you might want to go to the Republican legislators there and say, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing that? That acts as a magnet to attract even more illegal aliens to the state. No board and no commission in your state, the commissions that license everything from hairdressers to extending bar licenses to lawyers, you should be checking with them, are they extending those kind of professional licenses to illegal aliens? Because if they are, you need to persuade them and talk to them to not do that. Encourage your local law enforcement, your sheriff, your city or town police, to get involved in the 287G program. If you haven't heard of this, this is a program that was established under federal immigration law, and it's a program whereby DHS provides training and money for local law enforcement to help and assist them in finding, arresting, and detaining illegal aliens. And that is an effective way of extending the reach of DHS all over the country, and your local law enforcement ought to be doing that. Your state should not be providing driver's licenses to illegal aliens. As you know, there are a number of states that do that, California being one of them. If your state does that, you should try to persuade the state legislature to prohibit that. But the other big thing is this. You know, you can drive a car for a pretty long time without a driver's license, and you're only going to get caught if you're stopped by the cops, right? It's very tough, however, to drive a car without a license plate on it. And so you should tell your state legislators that they should do what Alabama did. Alabama put in a provision that said if you want to get a license plate for your car, you have to show that you are a U.S. citizen or you are a non-citizen who's legally in the country. That's a way of making it difficult for illegal aliens to get the transportation they need to get to jobs. If your state corrections department is not issuing an annual report on the crimes committed by illegal aliens in your state, then all of you all are influential people. Call state legislators, call people you might know in the governor's office, and get them to do that. The state Texas Department of Public Safety last year issued a report where they basically went and said, okay, what are the crimes that have been committed by all of the illegal aliens who are in Texas state prisons and jails? The numbers were shocking, including literally thousands of people who had been murdered by illegal aliens. That's important because that gives you the data and the evidence you need to show why having illegal aliens in your state, criminal aliens, is a bad thing. Check and make sure, does your state and do your county election officials, are your county election officials checking with the county court, wherever you live, to get the information from jury declination forms? And what I mean by that is, you know, if you're called for jury duty, you have to fill out a form in which you answer a series of questions. One of the questions you're asked is, are you a U.S. citizen? And where do they get juries from? Voter registration lists. But in a lot of counties, they simply excuse you from jury duty if you're not a U.S. citizen, and they don't turn that information over to a local election official so they can take you off the list so that you can't vote. And you need to be sure, ask your county election officials, are they getting that information? And what are they, if they're not, why not? And if they are getting it, what are they doing with it? And you also need to ask them, your local county election officials, what are they doing to verify the citizenship of people registering to vote? And if they're not doing anything about it, you need to make a big deal about it and say, you need to be doing this. Why aren't you talking to the Department of Homeland Security? Why aren't you getting information from DHS's database on aliens? And basically give them a hard time about it. These are all things that you can do at the local level, you know, in the towns that you live in, like I said, business licenses. At the state level, driver's licenses, license plates. You want to work on making sure that it is almost impossible economically for an illegal alien to live and work wherever you are. And that is a way of, it may drive them out of your state and over to California, but all of that's going to help. And folks in Arizona have told me that, for example, after they put in the mandatory E-Verify system, they saw a migration of illegal aliens out of the state. They started saving monies in their schools, healthcare costs, and legal costs. And that is a very big expense, particularly for local governments when it comes to illegal aliens. So those are all the action steps that I would urge you to engage in.
It's a great job, Hans. Thank you very much.